Hi, welcome to That Show on FCTV. My name is Destiny, and I will be your host this evening. On tonight's episode, we are going to be talking about quarantine. I have two amazing guests here with me tonight who are going to share their experiences during this quarantine with us. My first guest is the wonderfully talented Amanda. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Amanda. How are you this evening? I hope you're doing well. I have a ton of questions to ask you. My first question for you is, have you learned any tips or tricks during this quarantine that you found to be the most helpful to your adjustment? Like, how have you been doing in your classes? Any tips for that? Or how have you been talking with your friends? I would love to know.
Hey Destiny, thank you for having me. So to answer your first question, I would say I'm doing actually pretty good. The main thing that I have really learned about online learning is you really have to stay on top of things. Professors won't really tell you like what's due that certain week. Like they'll tell you at the beginning of the week and then they won't really remind you until the end of the week. So that's been one big thing I've really taken away from like online learning. And then as far as keeping in touch with my friends, honestly, it's been pretty easy. I have a lot of like online friends anyways, so I've been FaceTiming a lot, and it's also been really nice having social media because I can see exactly how my friends are doing and I can stay in touch with them there.
I'm glad to hear that. Do you think your teachers have been adjusting well to this new online learning?
Alright, so I believe that a lot of teachers have been doing really good adjusting to online learning. I mean, this is like our third semester basically online, so I feel like teachers are now getting the hang of it and using Canvas to help and teach us. I would say what's hard is those classes that are very hands-on and are very group-oriented, just because you can't like go up to someone and be like, hey, you want to be in our group? You'd have to like direct message them on Canvas and they may or not see your message until later on. Yeah, I would think teachers are definitely doing a lot better this semester compared to first semester.
I would agree with that. What about your community? Do you think this pandemic has been handled correctly through your community?
So I live in a student housing, and ever since the whole curfew thing, the leasing office sent out an email just, letting people know that the curfew is 10 o'clock. And honestly, people have been like accepting it, and I mean, it's been pretty quiet at night now, and it's been really nice because, like, especially the noise complaints have gone down, and there's not really much use for calling security anymore, just because people are actually listening to what the leasing office said.
Well, I'm glad to hear that your neighbors are being respectful. Have you noticed any positive outcomes from this quarantine for yourself?
I would say one thing that I have truly been able to do this whole quarantine is definitely focus on myself, like just making myself a better person, and just like I'm learning things about myself that I honestly never really knew. So it's been honestly really nice just getting to learn myself and also better myself, whether that's as a student, as a cheerleader, or just as a friend. I have definitely been able to finally reach my fitness goal. Before, I was really busy with school and stuff, so I didn't really have much free time, and now I actually do. And then I've just been able to, again, try and make things as positive as I can. I've definitely had a problem in the past, focusing on a lot of negatives. So it's been really beneficial for me to really get to focus on myself and just make sure that I'm on the right track, and yeah.
I'm happy to hear that you have found your silver lining during these hard times. I think it's so important to be positive right now more than ever. And on that positive note, I'm going to send us to commercial. We'll be right back after a few messages from our sponsors. There's no question the world has changed, but now it's time to embrace the new normal. Wearing your mask is not just for your protection, but for the protection of everyone around you. Masks are most effective only when used in combination with frequent hand washing. It's also important to know how to dispose of your mask properly. Check out the link below to get more information on how to protect you and your family today. Hi, welcome back. Earlier this evening, we spoke with my friend Amanda and how she has been handling her quarantine. Now I have with me my friend Trisha, and she's going to be sharing with us her experiences during this quarantine. Hi, Trisha. So, have you found being at home hard in any way?
It wasn't hard for me, to be honest, at first, just because it feels like I get to catch up with my movies and TV shows and puzzles and games, and I got into knitting and all that stuff. But as time went on and there's nothing more to do, so it became really difficult for me, especially mentally. I feel like it's really sad. It's still sad right now, especially since I'm graduating and most of my friends are graduating as well. So I feel like this year was supposed to be our year to hang out and just enjoy ourselves before we move on to our lives. So it's really difficult for me.
I know, it has been a hard year. I'm graduating too. I totally get what you're saying. On the note of things that are different now, do you think there are certain things that after COVID just won't be the same?
One thing that I feel like is going to be very different is concerts. I love going to concerts and just being around people and being smushed with everybody. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, which sucks for me because every year I would go to 5 to 7 concerts, and now I can't do that. And it's so weird. I love doing it, and now I don't think we can do that even 5 years from now. Not 5 years, that's me being pessimistic, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon.
A lot has changed. I mean, I don't even know where to begin. But out of this whole experience, the quarantine, the pandemic, what has been your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway of this pandemic, I guess, is the awareness. Back then, when we go shopping, we just touch everything. When we go shopping, it's we just try stuff on, try the hats, try the clothes even. Even the carts now feel really dirty to me, even the clothes. I don't even want to touch anything whenever we go out.
So Trisha, I know from previous Zooms and from our meetings as a group that you do work. How has it been working during this pandemic?
There's no more guest counting going on. There's no lines outside. Everybody could just come in. Starbucks is now open. So I don't really feel that safe with the work environment that I'm on. But at the same time, I need the money. So I just go with it. But I try to be very cautious about my environment.
I'm sorry to hear that Target isn't handling it correctly. On the topic of handling this quarantine and this pandemic, what are your thoughts about the curfew right now?
Yes, there's a curfew, but in my opinion, I don't think they're enforcing it as much as they should. With my workplace right now, we're open until 11, and then we're gonna be open until midnight, starting next week. So, I'm really not sure how that's gonna work. We're open, but people are supposed to be at home by 10, unless you have a business going on, unless you're working. So I don't really get the curfew. I feel like not a lot of people are enforcing it, and not a lot of people are doing it. So I'm for sure in favor of curfews. Just if you're doing a curfew, enforce it. What's the point of having a curfew if you're not gonna enforce it? Especially with the retailers, they should be closed earlier to prevent people from coming in and shopping.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, Trisha. Thank you so much, Amanda. And thank you so much, viewer, for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit about our COVID experience. I hope yours is going well, and have a great night.